we're going to do all the advisement. That includes their dance courses and their non-dance courses. So as I said, it makes it easy for you, and it makes it really efficient for our students. Um, you don't need to tell there, and there's the contact information. And yes, you can give them our cell phone numbers. Please do give them our cell phone numbers as well as our email addresses, because as we all know, students respond more to texts and they sort of communicate that way more than they do via email. And you can also forward us all their information, their student ID, their email, whatever email they're saying that they use at that moment, and the cell phone numbers, and because we will reach out to them. You can, just tell them they need to do that as soon as possible, and we'll set them up with all their courses. You don't need to give them any information about our program or the placement process. In fact, we ask that you please don't give them any information, because if you sometimes well-meaning advisors mention that there's a placement process, and that scares students enough that we lose them. They never contact us, or they delay and delay and delay and delay. And then, as we know, it gets harder and harder to get them a schedule that is workable and that gives them the things they need. The closer, as we know, the closer we get to the start of the next semester. Just for your information, our program celebrates and supports every style of dance. We are truly an open admission program and an open admission college. We have students who are interested in hip hop. We have students who are interested in classical Indian dance. We have students who come in with a Latin dance background, students who do Vogue, yes, modern and ballet and tap, and African. It's really everything. And we find ways to bring all those things into the curriculum. So, there have been students who felt like after a conversation with an advisor, they felt like, oh, we have to do ballet and modern. This isn't the program for us. They don't do hip hop here. It's not the case. We do hip hop here. So, but please, you don't need to tell them anything about our program. They can get information from admissions, and then the best place for them to get the information is from us. Yes, we do placement. So the placement involves, there are 2 classes that have 2 levels. And those are modern dance and ballet. So for those 2 classes, the incoming students, some of them will be ready for the higher level, which we call intermediate, and some will need to go into the lower level, which we call advanced beginning. But we're not doing in-person placement classes in the studio anymore. We have switched to making decisions about what class to put students in through watching a video of them, talking to them. If a student says, I've never taken any ballet before, okay, that's an easy decision about where to put them. Most students have some video footage of themselves dancing if they've been dancing. We get lots of students who've never danced, and that's great. And then that's an easy choice also, right? We know where to put them. So we found the in-person placement classes were hard, they were scary. Sometimes students would hear there was a placement class and get so freaked out we would lose the student. So we don't do those anymore. We just talk to them, and it's working out just as well as when we did them in terms of the accuracy of getting people in the class they need to be in. And thank you for your support. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them. But the big takeaway is you don't need to do anything more than tell them to contact us as soon as possible. Like if you're emailing them, say, text Aviva or Emily right away. Or if you're talking to them on the phone, say, I'm not going to put you in any classes, but Aviva or Emily can do that. Contact them as soon as possible. Because we all know that, the more they delay, the harder it gets to work out their schedule. Any comments, questions?
Yes, hi, good morning. My name is Jackie. I work for the ASAP program, and I have a question. We are required to register our students fully when they come in and they do the intake with us. I guess I was more concerned about if the student comes in with like any remedial math or any remedial English that's required. Are you guys taking care of that as well? Or is that something that we need to do first and then send them off? How would that work?
Yeah, if they're at the point that they're ready to enroll in college classes, they're not like doing CUNY Start. Yes, we can enroll them in the remedial classes. We've been doing that. Sometimes it's like we're having a hard time getting them into a section, and we might come back to you guys in advising or in ASAP and ask you for assistance in working that out. Um, but the the dance courses, because we only have one section of each dance course, and it's very very specific what they need to take each semester, those sort of have to be lodged into the schedule first before we can go ahead and get them in the math and English and other courses. Yes, I know that. Well, so are you saying, Jackie, that because you in ASAP you have to fully enroll them, that what I'm saying doesn't really work for your mandate?
It does and it doesn't. Like, so I had a student like that. And so what I did is I actually enrolled her into the remedials and then I sent her off to you guys. I told her to follow up with me. She really didn't. She turned out to be okay, but I just wanted to make sure, like, what was the approach? We send them off completely and say, hey, you need to touch base with me once you've registered, or do we need to do something before we send them off? I mean, it makes sense that you guys would enroll them into the primary courses, right, dance, because maybe only one section, like you said, and then maybe we could help out with the rest. I just wasn't sure what would be the proper protocol.
Right. Right. I mean, sometimes it's been working out great with ASAP. Um, Sometimes what happens is you guys will put them in some classes and then send them to us, and some of those classes may work with the dance courses and some may conflict, and then we might have to drop some things or
Okay.
swap some things or send them back to you. So there can be a little bit of back and forth, which is why we're saying, like, and also students can sometimes meet with the ASAP advisor. The ASAP advisor puts them in a few things and says, okay, now talk to the dance advisors. But the students are like, oh, okay, I'm mostly good to go. Now I'll wait till August 23rd
Right, right.
to
Okay.
talk to the dance people. And then, as we know, when we need to move them around, if we need to move that English remedial, it becomes impossible. So, I would say for ASAP, if you want to go ahead and like put in those remedial courses and then send them to us, um, that so long as you tell them, it's really important that they contact us immediately, because
Right.
based on what they need for dance, things may have to shift. And because things are a little different for ASAP students, I'm happy to have sort of a separate discussion with the
Okay.
ASAP staff,
Okay.
because we have been doing things a little differently with ASAP. But for the general advising, the academy advisors, um, and I would say, let us do everything. For ASAP, we could have another meeting and sort of talk about like what's the best strategy. Does that
Fantastic.
help? Yeah. So if you want to reach out to me, or somebody else from the ASAP staff wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to have another conversation that might, feel clarifying.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much. I don't really get like a whole lot of dance majors, but I did get one like this semester, and that was kind of, so I just wanted to make sure. But I know Fatima deals a lot with like dance, so we'll definitely see. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else before I turn it over to the next presenter?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment. Just so you guys know, Aviva and Emily respond really fast. Like they will respond to you right away for any student situation. So just to note that there shouldn't be a problem when it comes to the communication, because it's worked well with advisement as well. So the back and forth, it's really developed, and we have a really good system going now. So again, don't be afraid to reach out to them or myself in case you need multiple outlets to talk to. So thank you. Thanks, Aviva. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you, everybody. We appreciate your support.
Absolutely. Thanks for presenting. Next we have Professor Jimenez. Hi, how are you?
Hi there, how are you?
Good, good. And back to our
Ready
presentation
for
for theater speech and
Yes.
all that good stuff. Please.
Great. Hey, everyone. And I'm gonna correct you slightly just because I'm trying to get we changed our name. So we're communication, theater, and media production, no longer speech.
Got it.
I just put that out there because it's been like 3 years, but people haven't caught on yet.
Okay. Well,
So
this is a good place to announce that. Great. Thank
yeah,
you.
we've just been calling CTMP for short, just because we know it's a mouthful. I'm going to be just going over theater and media production, film and media production. I think Dr. Ferrari Bridgers will be doing communication later at a different point. I don't know if it's today or the next one. But we have certain things, specifically with theater and film, we have certain things that we really do want to relay to the advisors. And I'm going to start with the film and media production courses. So I'm just going to share my screen. Do I have access? Yes, I do. Great. Can you all see this? Yeah, okay. So this is I'm just wanted to share the major requirements for the FMP film and media production courses. And there is a sequence that needs to happen for students to be able to graduate on time. With that said, it is a new major, and we're going into our 4th year, and the amount of majors have increased significantly. I think we clocked at 136 last semester between full-time and part-time. So we weren't expecting that bump. And we don't necessarily have the faculty to teach all of those courses, plus the courses are 4 hours, and we are also at one media lab that serves those courses. So we really can only schedule 2 classes a day, because that would be about 8 hours in the media lab. But with that said, the hope is that we always schedule 141 immediately. So right here, FMP 141, Introduction to Digital Media Production. If someone is declaring themselves a film and media production major, we want to make sure they get into that class as soon as possible. And we run about 2 sections of that a semester. We're hoping to increase it by 3 sections if we can get the faculty and the resources to do that. But if that can be done in the 1st or 2nd semester, it is the best, because 241 here, digital media field production, editing 341, and television studio 342, 141 is a prerequisite. So they cannot take the others in sequence unless they do that. And then also 241 is a prerequisite before editing, before they can go to editing. So if they don't take these 2, they can't take editing, which means that if they're trying to take 141 in the 3rd semester, they're never going to graduate on time, because they cannot take them at the same time. We've made exceptions for exceptional students, but it's really not the ideal. So that is something that we really look for specifically. The ones that don't have prerequisites are writing for the screen, introduction to electronic media, media criticism. So these, I would say, they don't have to happen in the 1st or 2nd semester. The most important, they can, but the most important is 141. And then preferably 241 in the 2nd semester, so that this way in their 3rd and 4th, they can take editing and television studio. They can take these 2 classes at the same time, editing and television studio, so that should be fine. Also, what we do for FMP, film and media production, we also do something called cohort scheduling, and we also do that for theater as well. I'm just going to show you the cohort scheduling that we create. So this is basically block scheduling, for lack of better word. We call it cohort scheduling, but people refer to it as block. And what we do is, for theater and for FMP, we put them into classes. So basically what we do is we don't put them into classes. We're not like dance. We let you all do that. But we do give advisors these cohort schedules as recommended and then also required courses. So I'm going to go down here to FMP since we were just talking about that. So as you can see here, I'm already working on the one for spring. In spring, we would love for them to take, FMP 141 if they're a first semester student in the spring, and they would take this particular class. And we're really particular about the classes because we want to make sure that they have an array of professors. So if one professor is teaching 141 and the same professor is teaching 241 the next semester, they're not getting a full breadth of experience. So we're trying to really navigate that through the cohort scheduling. So you'll see all the ones that are highlighted in pink here. Those are required courses for that major. And you'll see SP211 here is also a required course. It's in blue because it straddles theater and FMP. So those speech classes, we have FMP and speech major, FMP and theater majors in that particular public speaking speech class, because they're both required for both majors. So we do this on purpose. And also we're really intentional about where we place them, which is why we do cohort, because there is such long hours, specifically for FMP and for theater. Theater have outside rehearsals when we're in production. So we really try to make sure that the classes give them a sustainable experience so that they're not taking classes at 8 in the morning and then leaving at 10 p.m. for rehearsal. We want to make sure it's sustainable for them so we don't lose them. And then here in yellow, we have, they can add a PE course here. If it's not highlighted, that means that we have these sections created. So we have a partnership with like math, right? Where math will create this section for FMP and theater majors, and hold seats in that class for our particular majors. But it's recommended. So for instance, if there's a reason why they can't take that class because they need to take something else, it's not essential. This is just something we recommend in the cohort scheduling. Same thing happens up here in theater. We have in blue the required courses for the major, and then the recommended. We even have here, as you can see, we have elective courses that theater majors can take. It's not in blue because it's not a required course, but we do recommend that they take this course in their first or second semester because it may not be offered again, and then they might be interested in it. And they also need a good 3 to 4 electives in the major, so they might as well start now. You will also see here that we really purposefully on Tuesdays and Thursdays do not put any classes in the evening. And we tell our majors not to schedule any classes on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. And the reason for that is because that's when we hold our actors workshop class. And that class is the class that is taken if they audition to be in production. When they are in the production, their rehearsals are scheduled from 6:10 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we try to make sure that that's clear, because if they audition and they're taking a night class in a different discipline, then we have to move that section, or they can't be in the show, or we try to figure out, it causes a lot of mayhem. So we tell all of our majors, theater majors specifically, to not schedule any classes after 6 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And this is our cohort scheduling. Also, I'm going to share, hold on. I think this is the correct one, if I can find it. I don't know what it's highlighting. Here we go. So if you were to go to our page for theater and you go to current students, we offer the students a recommended sequence. So basically, this is over the course of, since I've been here, since sort of as a full-time person since 2013, I've been collecting data and really understanding that what the data is and what classes our theater students are most successful in. So these are the ones that we offer, that we recommend that they take. So like here, math and contemporary society is 321. We think that works. Also, chemistry and the arts in the third semester. We find that our students are most successful in this class. So we recommend it. Now, if there's a student who loves astronomy and would be amazing at it, or physics, and they want to take that, of course, they can and they should, right? But these are just ones that we have noticed are the most successful. And we've seen other sort of classes like in history or chemistry that they aren't quite as successful because they don't have a sort of corresponding relationship to the major. So something like, I'm trying to see if, you know, again, chemistry and the arts is the one I can think of offhand. Okay. So we recommend that here. Also, you should know that it's specifically in theater, and we will be doing it in film soon. Also, if you are on the same page, which is our department page in theater, and you go to current students, that's here, you scroll down, you can also find all of our students' theater mentors. We don't call them advisors because we don't put them in classes like dance does, but we do mentor them and we do suggest classes that they should take and sequences that they should take. So we know if a student really wants to be in a show, then we know in the fall, then we know to tell them not to take their practicum class in the fall and take it in the spring. Practicum is when they work on the show backstage. If they're working backstage on a show, which is also a course requirement, they can't also act in the show. So they have to decide if they're going to audition for one, they should take practicum on the other end. Now, we understand all of you don't know those intricacies. So sometimes you're like, well, you need to take this practicum class and it's required, so take it this semester. So sometimes I know I'll be contacting some ASAP advisors who have an amazing plan for their students, but don't realize that it doesn't really align with the needs of the program and the needs of the student in the program. So sometimes we have to shuffle, and sometimes I'm contacting an ASAP advisor and being like, hey, can we have them take it this semester and replace it with this class? Can we do a swap? If you have one of a theater mentor, you can go to this page and you can find who their professor is who acts as their theater mentor, so you can discuss it with us if you want. If you're like, hey, so-and-so said this is happening, is that true? So you'll see, like, if we said, hey, Hannah Bochi is my student, then you know Professor McGill is their theater mentor, or Joseph Lanzer is Professor Yonkers. And we're all here. We have 6 of us who do all of our theater mentoring. And we update that list quite every beginning of the semester, but it's usually about the 4th week of semester after the ad drop period. That's when Liz Lackner will send us a list of who our theater majors are after the ad drop period is closed and after things have been declared. And every semester we update that list. So if we have new majors coming in, they will be assigned a theater mentor. And that theater mentor usually stays with them throughout their tenure at Queensborough. Sometimes it switches depending if a faculty member is on fellowship leave or for some reason, or a faculty member leaves the college, then things sometimes will get shuffled around. But for pretty much, it's consistent as long as none of that is going on. Any questions? I see something in the chat. No. Okay.
Yeah. When can we get the updated cohort schedule?
Yes, you'll get the updated cohort schedule for spring the moment I finalize it. It's almost done.
Okay.
And I will make sure that it is ready for you specifically before registration. When does registration begin?
Probably end of October.
Okay.
We'll have the solid.
You'll get it way before that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because we have to do some shuffling because of fellowship leaves and stuff, to make sure that someone is specifically they're getting an array of teachers. My extension is 5267. I'm just going to put it in the chat. Thank you, Edna, for asking. And you can reach out to me at any time. I am on email all the time. It goes to my phone unless I'm like at the movies or sleeping or doing something else. I will, because I don't text in the theater. I will email you back immediately. So I'm always available for that. And also you can email any of our mentors if you, specifically to the student, and they will email you back. And if they don't, email me, because I'll email you back. Any questions? Awesome.
Okay.
We'll contact you after this meeting referencing acting in the theater. Please. Cool. Sounds good.
All righty.
Awesome.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much. Always informative.
Cool.
Look forward to that cohort, and then we'll share it with everyone once the time comes.
Yeah, that document is what you'll get, what I just showed. I'm
Okay.
just fine-tuning room numbers and stuff like that.
Sure, of course. All right,
Awesome.
great.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on next is music and music production. Dr. Burkow, welcome.
Hello, hello. So I think the spring semester is actually a little bit easier for advising and enrolling, since most people are in their sequence of classes already. So just make sure that people are progressing through their recommended sequencing of classes. Generally, we don't get a lot of new MUS majors in the spring. If they do, it is a bit of a problem because they would definitely need to come to our department and take a music placement test. But usually we recommend that MUS majors start in the fall. We do anticipate getting some new MP students in the spring semester. That does normally happen. Just be aware that we are very much trying to get them to. Yes, hello?
Staff notebook? No.
That we are just trying to make sure that our MP students in their first semester of the degree program take both MUS 111, Musicianship 1, and MP 101, the Introduction to MIDI and Recording Studios. We do want them to take those. They are linked. I think in this past fall, we did have an issue of running out of spaces in musicianship. We're looking into the reasons why we ran out of spaces in musicianship when we still had spaces open in MP 101, and I know that caused some trouble for some students. I think part of it is that we don't always know how many people are going to retake any given class, and so that can then mess up the kind of one-to-one. So we're going to be trying to solve that on our end. But if that does happen, if there is an issue, let me know the student that is having trouble, and I will try and work with them. And usually if it's happening early in the process of registration, that's not going to be hard to fix. It's when students are registering very, very late, right before the start of the semester. That's when or once the semester has begun, that's when it really creates problems, and we may not be able to accommodate a student when they're registering that late. So just be aware of that. I think the only other thing to be aware of is that we are offering for our music majors who are in their second year, we are offering MUS 241. That's the more advanced music history class, MUS 241. So make sure that that gets in their schedule. That's being offered this semester. I think in the old degree maps, it's still showing incorrectly, even though I think I tried to correct it. As being a class that's offered in the fall, but it's actually offered in the spring. Last thing I'll say is that for students registering with lessons, again, most of the lessons are going to be in the MUS side, and those students are already now familiar with what they're doing with the lessons. Our department is now scheduling those lessons in a block of time. So it should actually appear with a room number and an actual block of time, usually in 2-hour blocks. Be aware that students that are registering for that, they're only going to need to do a half hour of time in that block for their lesson, but we would like them to reserve all 2 hours so that they can be easily scheduled and use the other time to practice in our practice rooms, either before or after the lesson. In other words, when you see that block of lesson time for piano 2, it may be a certain time of day. Make sure, not class piano 2, but individual instruction in piano 2. Make sure that the student is not registering for classes that conflict with that block of time. So we really want to treat that lesson time as an important placeholder in the student's schedule. Other than that, I don't think there's actually too many complications going on. I would love to hear your questions, though, if you have some. And I also want to give you a little heads up on what is going to be happening starting at the end of spring semester with regards to the MUS program and a little bit of how it impacts the MP program. We are going to be changing a few things, and I want to give you a heads up. It won't affect this semester, but I do want to give you a heads up. But before I do, I will take any questions you may have about the spring registration or anything that isn't clear.
Dr. Burkow, how there's been some challenges when it comes to scheduling. So, for example, for the MP students, you know, we need to give them the MP 101, but then the MUS 111 is closed. Is it really detrimental to the student if they take one or the other and then continue on the next? Or is it, you know, how would you recommend?
It definitely causes a problem. Like I said, the reason that occurred is that we're investigating why that occurred. There really should there should be enough spots in 111 for the MP 101s. We do have a few students who register for MUS 111 who want to take it as an elective and as part of another degree program. So I may prevent that. I may limit that from happening so that there's, or at least until there's clearly enough students, all the students who need it on MP have gotten it. So that may be one solution that I have to that problem. I like the idea that there's students who aren't in a degree program who could take musicianship 1 as an elective, but if it's causing the problem that you described and what we observed as well, that it's filling up slots and then there's not enough for our MP majors, then I want to address that. The other issue is we don't know when students don't pass musicianship 1, if they take it again in the fall or in the spring or fall, depending when it happens, then we have people who are retaking that's filling up slots that really should be for new students. So the solution to that may be that we offer MP or MUS 111 possibly in the winter sessions or summer sessions. I haven't decided on that one yet. But my hope is that it should balance out. There may be some students who also need to take MP 101 who pass musicianship, and so maybe it balances out. So it's a little bit of a delicate balance. I tried this semester to over tally into musicianship 1 as much as I could, and we went quite beyond the cap level and the room level, knowing that we would probably have some attrition. So we're aware of the problem. We're trying to solve it. I think at this point, like I said, if you're aware of a student that's really having that trouble, let me know. I'll try and fix it. Otherwise, I may allow them to, my first line of preference is to get them in both, either through over tallying, but if that's not possible, I will at least allow them to take 1. You know, maybe they can take the MP 101 without the musicianship.
Sure.
It may mess them up, which is why I think looking at offering a musicianship in the winter and the summer is not a bad idea to try and catch those. That's something that we're looking at experimenting with to try and solve that issue. It's kind of with so much pressure to make sure that classes are full to the max, it's creating problems. You know, I could always offer another section of musicianship, but it may cause everyone to be low, and then it causes mayhem when they ask me to cancel something. So it's this delicate balance is what we're going for. So I'll try and solve as much as I can. Like I said, the only real problems we ran into this last time was I couldn't help students where they were getting into that trouble, but they were registering the day before classes or the week after classes started. And I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's too late. I can't help. That's really when it really becomes quite difficult to deal with.
Great. Any other questions for Dr. Burkow?
All right. If not, I'm going to give you a little heads up where the music program is going to go. We, of course, had our NASM visit, and it went very well. But they did bring to attention the standard within our accreditation agency, not Middle States, but our own specific music-related accreditation agency, which we call NASM, that they haven't, their issue is that they really want to make sure that students who are enrolling in the MUS-AS degree program have been properly vetted for their musical aptitude, and that it's not ethical to actually recruit and enroll students in the program who may not have sufficient musical skill to succeed in the program. And this is what can happen in our open enrolled. And we do see the problem of this. We do have students who are in the MUS program that are simply not going to be able to do it because they're starting too late with regards to an instrument, or they're starting on an instrument, but they don't have enough what we call musical aptitude. They're not going to make progress fast enough to realistically finish this degree in any kind of timetable that makes sense. And this turns out to be a violation of the standards. So we are currently working with the Office of Academic Affairs to do something that's similar to what nursing does for the MUS program, which will mean that starting in the spring semester, for students who want to enroll for fall, there's going to be in essence, an audition process that the department controls. So no student can be matriculated as an MUS-AS degree student until they go through our vetting process. Now, what that means on the advisor's end is that if a student comes to you starting in spring for a student who wants to enroll for the fall, the way we envision this is that they will start as an AA major in the liberal arts, and with a subheading of music. And I think this is kind of similar to what happens in nursing. And we will have advertised dates when they must come to the music department to take a music placement test and a musical aptitude test. If they pass that, they will then be allowed to matriculate as an MUS-AS student. If they don't, they will still show as AA, but with the idea of becoming a music student, they will still register for the first semester of music classes, but will also be required to take musicianship 111, which is going to cause some issues on the numbers on our side, and we're going to figure all that out. So I will explain in more detail and have charts that show how all this works when we come to it. But I wanted to give you a heads up that we are going to have to move to in essence, a kind of formalized audition process, so that we aren't registering students for the program anymore who come and they're not sure what degree they like, but they like the way music sounds. They love music. They listen to music all the time. They come in our program and they don't have an instrument. They are too far behind, and they may not have enough musical skill to really learn an instrument at the level they need to in order to have a successful transfer. So I know that all sounds very, very scary, but don't worry. I'll design supporting materials for you that takes you through the process. Like I said, I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's where music is looking to go with regards to admission into the MUS-AS degree program. MP program, we don't think is going to be terribly affected by this. We do intend for there to be scheduled events, scheduled days when music production students have to come and do an placement exam. We do need to know where they're entering the program in. So that was the problem for both degree programs. We're largely blind to the musical level of these students, and we can't properly advise them without knowing it. With AS, MUS degree, it's going to be a matter of not even letting them into the program until we properly vet them. With NP, they can go right into the program, but we do need to properly vet them so that the department has much more knowledge of who these students are, what their abilities are, so we can properly advise. So I will take questions on that, but like I said, I wanted to give you a little heads up that that's where we're going to go. And also just to let you know that once we're moving in this direction of having lessons scheduled in these blocks, eventually my goal is to have schedules that to give you as advisors very clear scheduling blocks that show this is when the lessons are for these sections. Make sure not to schedule classes for the students in those times, which I think will be helpful. And we're just experimenting with that now to see if these blocks of times are working, and they do seem to be. So once they do, I'll go ahead and clean up that the supporting advising materials for that.
Okay. Any questions or anything like that for Dr. Burkow? All right. All right. Well, Dr. Burkow, thank you for your time as usual. And
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. There's been a quite Professor Sullivan, I just wanted to let you know we're just gonna do a quick Dr. Osorio from language just needs to jump on real quick for a quick message, and then we can get to you next, Professor Sullivan. Thank you so much. Dr. Osorio, are you there?
Yes, good morning, everybody. Thank you, William, and also thank you, Dr. Sullivan. I just want to mention a couple of things for our department. One is that we have a situation when we are trying to place the student in the right classes. Then one of the things that I try to tell you, everybody here, that it's important that you help us when you see any student looking for taking classes for a foreign language department, they had to fill out the placement form. I just sent the link to everybody at this moment. This is one of the important things for our department, because sometimes the student, especially the new student, they just came at the end of the first week of classes looking to enter in our classes, and they want to place in any classes without concern, and they had to fill out the placement form. This is one of the main things that they had. Any student that want to take classes with us, they had to fill out this form. Two things that are important in our department, changes that are connecting with senior college. One, we have a new agreement with your college, and then it's great. Any student that is looking to take classes with us, especially Spanish classes, telling them that we had the agreement with your college. Any classes that they take with us referring to Spanish, they are going to be accepted in your college. And something new that we have now in our department is the Spanish concentration. And this is a way to attract a student for our department. And those are two main things. And another one that I just mentioned is that we have a new class for conversation. That class is LS215, is 3 credits elective class, is inside of the pathway. And then this is something new that we have in our department. This is mostly what I want to share with you. Your college agreement, Spanish concentration, the importance for the student to fill out the placement form. And if you have any question, just feel free to contact me, or also we have alliance with the advisor, and it's Professor Melida Sanchez. Then it's all I want to say at this moment, but if you have any question, feel free to ask me, and thank you. Yeah, the placement is mostly for elementary classes, but when the student fill out that they know the language already, in the back of the form, they had to write a small, like we could say, some question that we ask about the daily activities, and based on that answer, we decide the proper label for the students. Let me, I don't know if this is possible to share here about this concentration.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, and I don't. Well, this is part of the liberal arts and science. Okay, this is inside of this option for the student liberal arts and science. And then the goal that we have with this Spanish concentration is in the future we try to have some more agreements through this Spanish concentration with maybe John Jay College is the first college that we have in mind. But then I could share with you the information later on. You send me an email because I don't know how to share at this moment with you.
Okay, no problem.
Here is my email address. I just wrote there, and I could send you the whole package and how it looks for. But it's mostly the for liberal arts students. Okay, it's already in the catalog for 2023, 2024. It's already there. Okay, and right there we have the prerequisite that we have for this one. Okay, some of the things that I can share right now with you here. I just send the information. It's a little long, the information that I just sent, but this is the prerequisite and some of the requirements for this particular Spanish concentration. I see that Vicky has a question.
Sorry about that. I just to clarify, I mean, my thought was with the Spanish concentration, students that are interested in teaching Spanish or bilingual education possibly in the future, and I know that Queens College in the master's level has bilingual counseling degrees or an interpreter. Were there other careers that would be that these students could go into with that degree is what I was kind of wondering.
Oh, yes. For example, and this is why we want to have this Spanish concentration. One is to try to convince some senior colleges to accept an agreement with us. We did already with your college. It's not easy with Queen's College. We established the conversation with them 1 year ago, but it's not running. With John Jane College, we have better option, and also with Hunter. And then the students that take those classes here, those classes are going to be accepted there. Okay, and for the career that they decide to take, it could be Spanish as educators or in translator. That is an option for them too. Then this is exactly what we want to for the student, to attract more students for our department. Is telling them any classes that you take in the is going to be accepted now in your college. Okay, in the BA or your college. Could be BA in Spanish or BA for educators. And also we want to do the same with other senior colleges. And if they want to have a certification in translation, they can do it too. Okay, and then this is one way to attract students for our department.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. And then any other questions?
Susan has a question.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to share that I put the link for the agreement in the chat. So if anyone wants to take a look at it, they could see the actual agreement. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, so Dr. Soria, I'll email you to get that information.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thanks for the time. Professor Sullivan, please jump in.
Wonderful. Thank you. So I'm just going to share my screen, and hopefully if you can't hear me or anything, let me know. If you can't see anything, let me know. Usual Zoom protocols. Let me just share out this presentation here. Okay. No, hold on. Actually, Give me a minute. Sorry, guys. Okay. That's better. And now I'll share it. Okay. So thank you. I just wanted to update a little bit on some changes within the art and design, specifically the digital art and design AS degree, where I am located. So we just got done our NASAD accreditation. The site visit happened. NASAD is an additional layer of accreditation that our department has acquired. We did our first one in 2015-16. This was our first 5-year gate we passed through. I was delayed from the pandemic, so here we are in 2023, set to be reaccredited through NASAD. So it's only a few of the top flight art schools in New York City have this accreditation. We're one of only 19 community colleges nationally. So it is something that, a little bit of extra accreditation that I think helps, and it may help sell our program to prospective students. And part of that process is a self-study and then responding to peer reviewers that come. So a couple of changes were initiated because of that self-review that I do want to talk about a little bit today. A couple of things just to mention. As you're advising students, I know we get a lot of students who are trying to find themselves on our campus. Maybe they're in other programs and they're, thinking maybe I'll try something new or try some art. And I think there's a lot of mystery about what it is we do over here in this C building, the building at the back of the campus by the bus depot. And so there's a lot of activity here. And one of the things I think that is really I think would make it easier to advise students is that there's a lot of contact points for prospective students. So if you're sending people over here, we have a very visual production, right? We have events that are very social. We have students produce work that is visual and presented in a social context. So we have our annual juried student exhibition every year in the QCC Art Gallery, which is just up the hill from us, next to the Oakland Dining Room. And it's a way of honoring the best student work that comes through our program every year. There's a catalog published with an essay, and it's honestly the first time that many of the students have seen their work presented professionally like this, with a catalog framed in a gallery setting with an opening. And there's always good food, so we can always send students our way. We get lots of people that wander over. This year's opening will be in February 2024. It's a little advanced schedule. We're just to work out the scheduling with the gallery. So we're stepping up our game a little bit in terms of the schedule, and we'll be presenting that at the beginning of the next semester. So if people are curious, it's a way of uniting our community, but also bringing the larger campus community into our orbit. Also, just to mention, there's ongoing shows in our building. We have a gallery space, and it's kind of a swing space. It's a little less formal, but it still has that framed. Usually, there's a curated exhibition in there running all the time during I guess class hours, 9 to 5:30. Every Monday to Friday. So that's open. Sometimes there's a video show in there, sometimes, which can be quite cacophonous. And sometimes there's a drawing show, which is more contemplative or whatever. So there's these different theme shows, and there's lots of mixed media. And one of the great things about it is it mixes curriculum from all across our program. So a lot of the fine arts, sort of drawing classes, 2D classes, sculpture classes will intersect with, say, video and digital art. And there's kind of this marriage of the two. So I think active students that are involved in those shows, but also prospective students and students who are in the program can see kind of the context of what they're producing as well. During the pandemic, we started doing these little film screenings, or after, I guess, when we were coming back and people were a little bit starved for social interaction, and also a little curious about how to restart that whole mechanism. So we had these little Thursday film screenings, and they happened once in a while through the semester, and they were quite popular. So now they're a regular feature. So again, another contact point for people curious about our program, and also things for contact points for current students who maybe feel a bit isolated, not knowing where they fit in. It's just, they're usually pretty crowd-pleasing kind of movies. The theme this September is Stop-tember, so it's all stop motion films. This Thursday, they're screening Paranorman. And usually there's a little discussion, some food afterwards. So we always have food at our events. A great way for students to stay in contact with us and with a pretty active Instagram account. It's run by one of our CLTs, is our Instagram account. There's not only just events within the department, but there's also student work displayed. There's also internship opportunities that are displayed and links to things. So Jinhee, one of our CLTs, runs that account. She does an amazing job of documenting and also promoting helpful things for our students. So always a good thing. There's also now a very active, it depends on who's kind of running it, but our student club is quite active. Last couple of years, actually, there's been a lot of energy in our club. So they meet all the time. They meet Wednesdays for club hours, but also they meet on, kind of clandestinely on Mondays and Fridays as well. They have the Discord channel. I'm not going to pretend I know what goes on in that Discord channel. I'm just going to promote it and say that that's also another contact point for students currently in the program, or for students who want to join in. This is, a couple of years ago, we redesigned our digital program. We kind of streamlined it into a more, we think, workforce ready, but also transfer ready format. And to make it easier to write these transfer agreements. Although, there's been a lot of challenges to that, as you might imagine. So I guess advisors would be familiar with this sequence. We did require drawing because we realized that a lot of four-year colleges, baccalaureate programs, that required portfolio drawing, a portfolio level drawing for it. It's a little less required now, but we still think it's a pretty valuable course for students to take. We also made video a required course in our sequence. So what that means, just to differentiate it slightly from video production, say in the theater and media production program, this would be more shorter form video for design context and art context. So the focus here is less on production and more on personal narrative, video art, or short form design oriented narrative, like promoting things, designing things. So we kind of feature, we have that as a sequence course. Now students honestly do have a desire to take production, and we do encourage them also to take more, to take an elective or to head over there. But our video course, just to differentiate, is much more focused on design context and art context for the so less scripted, scripted stuff, less, production value, more on, handheld aesthetics, that kind of thing. Let's see. The other question. So we, I guess, I teach the video class, I teach animation, I also teach motion graphics. And we were wondering, as a department, if it makes sense. This is an open question to advisors, academy advisors. We're noticing a lot of overlap in our digital animation, which is a 192 class, and the motion graphics, which is 293. And one of the questions I have is, would it be productive? I always have questions about how to make this that better experience for our students. One of the things we're noticing is that a lot of students come in with some experience with the software, which is Digital Animation 1, which will give you the 192, which is After Effects. And then they come in and they've already had, so I have students in my 293 that are sometimes have no experience, and they're taking both at the same time. So it's like a lot of really heavy duty software work that we think that might be better spaced out across 2 semesters. And then students will if they have the 192, then they're like, okay, they're in the first couple weeks of semester, we're going over keyframing and some basic things. We're almost having to teach 2 courses and 2 levels of student. So we're wondering if it's more productive to have now that enrollment is we're seeing better numbers, is that maybe sequencing those 2 courses. And if there's any objections, please contact me or ask or talk about it, because it's something that's in our head, but like obviously this would take some time to get through the pipeline, through the curriculum committee and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's something we're thinking about, is sequencing those 2 courses and when those 2 courses would occur. Video, obviously, production is an open enrollment course for our students. So we get lots of great, enrollment in that. We opened up a section, I think it was in August, and within a few weeks we had 20 in there, so which is our cap. So I think that's a course that everyone understands and can take. I think there's kind of like a logical sequence to these animation courses that might make sense. So, but if maybe I'm not seeing something, so if I'm not, please do let me know. So part of that reconfiguring of our digital program, we dropped from required or either or, we dropped photo, 3D and color theory and web technology, which allowed us potentially to offer an elective, which now I think, now that we're seeing enrollment numbers come back, energy come back into our program, we are thinking of and designing a 3D animation course. And this is also part of, we're pretty excited about it because it's we hired a faculty member in 2018. It was this was his specialty. He taught 3D animation classes at SVA. He ran the FIT digital fabrication lab. So he had a lot of experience within the art context of designing and building 3D, both sculpture and also animation. So we get to put his skills to use. I know there's a lot of interest in students. People are hungry for it. And we also acquired, as part of our NASA accreditation, there's an empty room, or not empty, but it was rented out to it wasn't part of the art. We never used it. Basically, it was in our building. It's a classroom, but now we're going to take that classroom back and design and build out a digital fabrication lab in there. So something for rapid prototyping. We're pricing out printers, but part of that is also having this 3D animation class. So that'll be probably using the software Maya, which again would be an elective course for students to take, but I think there's sufficient interest to build out a full roster. Last time I presented at this, I talked with Sal afterwards quite extensively over email, and we had a great discussion. And one of the things was he was interested in the transfer agreements. They're not finalized yet, but there are several that we're looking at: St. John's, FIT, Manhattan Marymount. And there's also this CUNY transfer initiative, which I think, it's great. These edicts come from, the on high, and we're kind of left to implement them. But I think it would really be helpful to our students, especially going into Queens College, which we get a lot of transfer. They require, many of these art programs are run like little fiefdoms within CUNY, and it would be helpful to us if we could offer their an equivalent to what they would require students to take once they get there, in order to present a portfolio and apply into the BFA program. So Queens program, you can take the BA program. You don't have to apply. You can just take it, BA in design. But if you want to go on the BFA stream, which is more selective, they get a show at the end of their 4-year experience. Then you have to do these 2 courses once you get there, and then show your portfolio, do an interview, and then get on the program. So it's a little bit more restrictive, and we would like to offer those 2 courses here. Like, it seems like, I think we do. It's just a matter of working that out. We're hoping to shoehorn this edict from CUNY Central to make transferring easier, to shoehorn it into an agreement with at least Queens and the EDM program at City College. So also with Sal, we talked about a little bit about a career event. And we would, there's faculty interest in attending, and also helping students with some information. If that is in the works, we are definitely still interested. So that's what I have for you today. And if there's any questions or anything, please let me know. Any questions? I have a loud class behind me. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Any questions for Professor Sullivan before we switch over? Okay. All right. Thank you, Professor Sullivan.
Great. Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay. So according to the schedule, we have communications to report, but I don't see their rep in the room. So what I'm going to do is jump ahead to the next guest until we get that, and that'll be Health and Phys Ed. I think that's Dr. Salas. Andrea, you here?
Yes. Hi, Will. I'm
Hi.
here. Hi, how are you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here. How's everyone doing?
Good. Good.
Excellent. Excellent.
You've got the floor.
Terrific. So I'll keep it brief. I don't have a tremendous amount to speak about. I know that Professor Gizmar Aviva spoke with you earlier regarding our dance program. So I'm confident that any questions that you had about the dance program that she was able to answer. And then the same is shortly after me. I know that Professor Ron Kornfeld from Massage Therapy will be speaking about. Hi, Ron. How are you? We'll be speaking about the massage therapy program. So I will let that conversation happen in a while. So I'll just basically speak about the health and physical education related programs. So one specific things that are new is the AS in public health now has a public health internship course, HE 203, that's going to be offered starting in the spring. It is, students do need to get departmental approval first, which is very important so that we get to know who's entering that program, and we can start early on finding a place for their internship. Their internship may take place outside of QCC, or there may be opportunities within QCC, depending upon what is the student's needs and interests. So we will be offering that course. It is a 2-credit course. There are prerequisites. So it is not designed for students who haven't had any public health courses. They need to have taken either HE 114 or IS 151 and HE 103, which is the nutrition course. So that's all described in the course, requirements. So, you can jot notes, but you'll also be able to see that on CUNY First as well. And we really just want to give students a practical experience for their course as part of their coursework. I know that tomorrow, biology department will be speaking about public health as well, and you'll hear they also have a internship course, and they'll discuss that with you tomorrow. So I'm sharing some things with you in pieces, but hopefully by the end of tomorrow, everything will come together with regard to the programs. The internship course, I also want to mention about HE 203, is also offered for students in the liberal arts and sciences nutrition concentration. So that's something else that's new. So students can take that. Again, it's the same protocol. They have to have departmental approval, and they have to have those prerequisites done, which are also part of their coursework. So that I just wanted to mention about those 2 programs. Our EMT program is up and running. We have a full enrollment at this time, which we're very, pleased about. We are offering, we continue to offer CPR courses. So if you have students who need a credit, who are short, we're still enrolling students in CPR. We also, for phys ed, we have more than 2. We have a few physical education online courses and partially online courses that are late starting. So again, they're going to start the end of October. So there's still time for students to register if they need that additional credit, or if they find that they're in courses where they need to withdraw or for whatever reason, or they just need that full credit load. Feel free to reach out to our department. We're very accommodating with those classes. And just also speaking about phys ed, I also want to keep in your forefront of your minds, our AS in movement science. It's a wonderful program that offers a lot of opportunity, a lot of different directions students can go into. If they're interested in the health and fitness field, they can go directly into your college's BS in movement science, which is synonymous and which is accredited through the American Council on Exercise Science. So there is an affiliation with the field of exercise science. Students can go on in the health and fitness field. They can go on to become exercise physiologists, physical therapists. There's plenty of opportunities either in a more clinical field or also in the more community-based field in health and fitness. Lots of opportunities there. It's a great program. A lot of the courses we aligned with the prerequisites for nursing. So if you have students that did the prerequisites for nursing, but may for one reason or another not be in nursing, this is another avenue for them. It's a very adaptable program, and they can go in all, there's a lot of possibilities for their future. So we're very pleased about that. So those are our main programs that I'm speaking about today. I'll take any questions if you have them. Vicky.
Hi, Andrea. I put it in chat, but just
to
clarify. No, it's okay. For the PBH is the HE 203 going to be an advised elective, or is it going to be part of the requirements, major requirements?
So it is an advised elective at this point. Yes.
Okay. And then you was the liberal arts nutrition concentration, you said it could also be used in?
Yes, as well. Right. And that's also, it's among the choices that students have. That's a great question.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Anything with regards to the health and physical education? I'm happy to answer that.
Okay, well, I thank you. Thank you for a lot of updates. That was good. Thank you for your time. And if any other questions, just email Dr. Salas, and we're going to move on to the next. So thank you again, Dr. Salas.
Thank you.
Next we have is Professor Sedaris.
Yes. Do you all hear me, see me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to share my screen. I have a few flyers here.
Sure.
I'd like to share with all of you while I speak about some of our offerings. So hopefully you all see the flyer in front of you right now. Yes. No. Okay. So I'm very happy to introduce a new sort of program that we've started at Chemistry. It deals with radiation protection. So just very briefly, I want to kind of go over this this flyer that was created. So the person that you see here is actually a student of QCC that has found employment at Brookhaven National Laboratory, which, if you don't know, is in Upton, New York, just east from here, about an hour or so away. And we've partnered with this national laboratory to essentially create this new certificate in what we're calling radiation protection as part of an established AS degree in liberal arts and science, math and science. So what's unique about this program is that the students are going to be taking 2 specialized courses. We're in the process of designing them right now. They're not on the books yet, but the students that are interested will be, if they're currently interested, they will be sort of enrolled in some existing research courses that we've established in our department, and they'll kind of make their way through the program until the new courses are officially approved and on the books. But long story short, what makes this very unique and an excellent opportunity is that the students would take a few classes here, and as part of the program, they will do some internships at Brookhaven National Laboratory. So it's built into their track, their education, and they will be working with specialists in the field at Brookhaven. Okay, so a lot of these opportunities are going to be paid, like you can see here. We're calling them paid summer internships, where they get to work with the professionals, the radiation safety technicians. And this certificate, as part of the program, will hopefully potentially get them employed in the national lab, either Brookhaven or any other national lab in the system that is looking for these radiation protection specialists, right? Technicians. So we have a registration site here. Anyone that's interested can sort of apply for it. We do have some eligibility requirements that are part of the national lab. They're kind of independent from what, we have some restrictions, I should say, that are set by the national lab because they will be going there. But we feel it's going to be an excellent opportunity for the students, anyone who's interested. All right. So just very quickly, as part of the program, to kind of give you a layout, the students would enroll at QCC. They would select an existing AS program, nothing new there. They would just have to take these two courses. We're calling them Radiation Protection 1 and 2. They will receive a $600 stipend, and they'll be completing their AS degree in liberal arts and science. And in the first summer, they will be eligible through a mini semester type program to eventually complete an internship at Brookhaven National Laboratory, paid for, the room and board. We have identified some people that they'll work with, some scientists, staff scientists, and professionals, radiation control professionals and technicians at Brookhaven. They'll do the same thing for the second year. And what's great is that the internships count as work hours. So if they are interested in eventually finding employment at BNL in this capacity, they will be way ahead of any other candidate. They'll have some relevant work experience. They can focus on taking an exam to be certified, and then they can get employed at BNL or in any other national lab that requires these types of technicians. The other thing I want to mention, I think last time when I presented our courses, I emailed these flyers. I think just in general, you all know, where our courses fit in terms of the programs or different academic pathways. I just want to stress a few things about certain courses that we offer. And I'm just going to quickly run through the main points of each. So the first one is Chemistry 101. Any student that needs a lab science, we would recommend, if they're not following a STEM program, to take this course. It is one of the only courses that we offer that have a writing intensive component. What's nice about 101, it's also one of the few courses that is offered in different modalities so that students have that flexibility. We have an in-person lecture and lab section, and we have an asynchronous online lecture and lab section for this course. Okay. Chemistry and the Arts 106. As the name implies, it's really targeted to students that are pursuing any type of visual arts degree, theater. It's obviously open to anyone who needs a laboratory science as well. It is required for the digital art and design degree. As you can see here, has a laboratory component. What's nice again about this course is it's offered in a few modalities as well. Students can attend the lecture and the lab in person in a few sections. We also have a synchronous online version of this course to provide students some options. So any student that's mentioned earlier interested in the visual arts in any capacity, this is really a relevant science course to receive a credit. Chemistry 110 and 111, are for students that are interested in eventually making progress towards an environmental science degree. It's technically not the chemistry that's part required for that degree, but we like to think of it as a nice prep course. It is also offered in a few different modalities. I think right now the current section that's running is an asynchronous online course. In the past, we've offered it in person as well as in an online synchronous fashion. Our plan moving forward, I believe, is to kind of keep this as an asynchronous online course. But if there's additional need, we will offer more sections. So currently, I believe there's only one section of this course, lecture and lab. Chemistry 127 is really the course for any student that's interested in nursing or any of the allied health professions. For the past, I'd say, year and a half, the course coordinators for this course have been fine-tuning it for these professions. So anyone that is interested in the allied health professions or nursing, if they can fit into their schedule, we would recommend they take Chemistry 127, Introductory General Chemistry. It's required for a lot of nursing programs. Eventually, a lot of students just wait to take it when they transfer to a four-year school. And I would highly recommend they take it here because of the smaller classes. If a lot of students postpone till they transfer to take this course, they're going to take it in a giant lecture hall with, anywhere between 100 and 300 students. And that's not really an ideal learning environment. Okay. Chemistry 128 is our introductory course to organic chemistry. This is also required for certain nursing programs or allied health professions that require at least one semester of organic chemistry. So this is a perfect fit. A lot of times, students that are taking 151 are allowed to take 128 as well. And if necessary, if students want to pursue like a more advanced STEM degree, or if they want to go to a certain PA programs, physician assistant programs, they may require some more organic chemistry. This is an excellent prep course for it. Okay. General Chemistry 1 and 2, our Chemistry 151 and 152, these are the chemistry courses for STEM majors, engineering majors. They fulfill that requirement, science elective requirement for a lot of majors. Most STEM majors need to take a full year, and we offer lecture and laboratory components of these courses. This course and everything higher is offered only in person, both the lecture and laboratory components. It's not a hybrid, no online options. Last course, this is the highest level of chemistry that we offer. It's a full year of organic chemistry. Anybody interested, again, in a STEM major, medical school, eventually pre-dental, pre-vet, they have to take at least one semester of it. We highly recommend that any student interested in taking the first part also stays with us to complete the second part. Similar reasons, if you take it at a four-year institution, these courses are in gigantic lecture halls between 100, 300 students, and that's not ideal. Okay, so thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And in the chat, if it's okay, I'm going to give some links to the certificate program application that you can share with students, and a kickoff event that we're going to have actually tomorrow to provide some more information about this new certificate.
Great. Can you share those files
Sure.
on email so everyone has a copy?
Absolutely. I'll do it right now.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you for your time, Professor Sedaris. Okay. Let's see. Okay, next is Dr. Kornfeld from Massage Therapy.
Oh, hi. Can
Hi.
everybody hear me okay? Great, thank you. I'm not a doctor,
Okay.
although they did come after me in Pennsylvania. I'm a shiatsu therapist, massage therapist, and somebody had it in for holistic health practitioners, and they hauled a bunch of us in for practicing medicine without a license because we had the audacity to give a talk about healing. Anyway, nobody got in trouble. I'm going to try to share something. I want to thank all the advisors for the work they do. It's very obviously really critical. I'm going to try to go into a share because I have let's see, let's do the whole screen. And I think from the screen, I can go up here and go here. Great. Is this coming through okay? Should be our curriculum.
Yes.
Great. Okay, great. So first we I think last semester we started asking that when you advise our majors, when you register our majors, that you let us know like right away. And this has been happening, and we really appreciate this because oftentimes we don't see our majors until they've gone through, you know, their basic prereqs and stuff. And this is for a few reasons. One is for retention. We feel we have a better chance of keeping them the sooner that we can get our faculty in touch with them. So I want to thank those of you who are doing this. And you can notify me. I'll put my mail in there or Dr. Lazul. And this way, we can reach out to them right away. And we also have, through the Perkins Grant, we have student success advocates that are working most of the semester. And the student success advocates are able to function as program advisors and mentors. And we also have them serving as dedicated tutors, including bio faculty. So the sooner that we know we have our students in courses and classes, we can reach out to them. So we're asking you to notify us when you register them so we can get in touch with them. And it's not really enough to tell them to get in touch with us because 50% of the time it won't happen. So I just want to say that it's great that it's happening. And also we can kind of double check things, right? So I go in there and I can look and see, well, what are they signed up for? I can go in and just back check stuff, you know, look at what they got transferred for. And this way we make sure that we don't have, you know, something that may just not be caught soon enough, like a missing prereq or something that somebody should have gotten transfer credit for. So I just want to reemphasize that we really appreciate that and just let us know right away. You know, and of course, if they have questions, you can reach out to us anytime. If you have questions about you know anything, well, anything that we deal with. What else? What else? What else? We have a CPAS line in HA and bio. So everything that's HA and bio is a CPAS line. And they have to retake. And obviously, you know, there's sequence and prereqs and coreqs. The registrar will let somebody who fails HA enroll in the next one. It's not set up to crash them with a C minus. But we have to catch it. And you know, anyway, so for the core stuff, it doesn't matter. Apparently, they can have D's or whatever. But once we get in the bio, the BI, and the HA, these are C passes. So we have to make sure that they don't slip that through. We discourage our students from registering themselves, although apparently they're able to. And I don't think it's a good idea for any of our majors to go in and actually register themselves. I untangled something that somebody did a few weeks ago that was pretty incoherent. Okay, what else? So spring, fall only. Spring, fall only. Most of you are aware of this. So something like myology just happens once a year. So these become priorities. You know, if we have students who are part-time and they're wondering, what do I do? What do I do now? What can I do? I mean, the ones that occur once a year are really priority because unfortunately there's no retake option for a whole year. This is one of the I feel, deficits of our program compared to other programs. I think, by the way, we have the best massage program in New York State, in the New York City area. We have the highest pass rates every single exam. We are the absolute bomb of passing the state boards, and our program is really geared to that. But we do have this issue where. So what's priority here? What's priority here is AMP1 and Mayo. That is total priority here. So if we have people who are part-time and they want to know, what do I do? How do I start? English comp, they can take later on anytime, even in the summer. AMP does get offered in the summer. Our courses are never in the summer. Yeah, so anyway, foundations, we like for foundations to happen right away, but it's more important that they get AMP1 and Mayo. AMP is our killing floor. I mean, we lose more people because they can't pass AMP than anything else. We have dedicated tutors through the SSA program. So, if we know our students are in there, if we know our majors have failed AMP1, we can get them targeted help. In some cases, these are tutors who are teaching those classes. This is through the Perkins Grant, which has given us a whole new way to support students. I'm a student success advocate, which is why I'm here in lieu of Dr. Lazoe, who has a class she's doing right now. All right, so I just wanted to point out a few of those things. So these priorities, AMP1, which is the foundation, for the rest of the bio track here. So AMP1 and Mayo are really critical. Foundations, they can even, we'll take foundations that a little bit later on if we have to. We prefer not to. The same with the Western track. The massage tracks are the same way. So Western 1 is just in the fall. We rarely have people who have to repeat Western 1, but it happens now and then. And so this becomes a priority track through. When the English comp comes in, is not that critical. English comp is not prereq, correct for anything. So, for part-timers, I think you want to focus on getting them through the AMP track, because if they don't do AMP1, and if they're not in AMP2, they're not going to be able to do kinesio. We have a lot of people going through now, a lot of students going through in 3 years and even 4 years, and I think it's fine. I would rather see a student not kill themselves and really, learn solidly, and take an extra year than have an impossible program. I know many students, they have to do it for Phi 8 and stuff. And anyway, so basically that's what's going on here with our CPAS line and our priority courses. Also, I think we still are giving you the intro package for entering students with the health clearance, the uniform, how to get their uniform. Health clearance happens every semester, just as in nursing. And sometimes our students are confused and they think they only have to health clear once, but they have to re-clear. Sometimes it's just a formality. Sometimes they need something. Sometimes it's just a formality to re-clear. When you're giving out these packages, we ask you to encourage immediate action because we need all the help we can get on the health clearance issue. Because they rarely are ready for it, and they wait till the last minute. They think they can get an appointment, they can't get an appointment, and all this stuff. So I just want to encourage everyone, when you give them that package, to tell them they need to get on it immediately. I mean, I don't care if it's May and they're coming in September. They have to get on it immediately because they just don't know what's going to happen with that health clear. And we have to hold them out for insurance reasons. Okay, intro package, sequence, priorities, CPAS. I think I've gone through my list. Yep, I've gone through my list. So if there's any questions, any confusion, I'm the enemy of confusion. So if you have any questions, we can do that. Okay.
Vicky.
I just wanted to point out to everybody that this morning I sent out the massage therapy handbook and the updated packet for the spring 24 semester. I spoke to Isabella this morning and we got everything sorted out. And just to make advisors aware that Eastern and Western massage therapy courses go in a very specific sequence. So if a student is trying to graduate within 2 years, it's very important that they're doing those HA 101, 102, 103, 104, and so on, or else they will not be able to graduate within 2 years.
Yeah, this is really important. Thank you, Vicki, because this is a big deal, right? Especially for students who are planning on, having significant income from the program. And, a lot of them are on a 2-year, plan, the life plan, basically. And this same with the A&P. We encourage the students taking the A&P early if they can, even in summer. If we have students who are part-time or out of pocket, it's not a bad idea to suggest that someone part-time or out of pocket who doesn't have a certain credit amount they have to carry for FIAID, that they do that A&P if they can in the summer. And it clears up a lot of room for them to be able to handle their other courses, because these are heavyweight. These A&Ps are heavyweight. Okay, so I just want to repeat our request that when you work with one of our majors, let us know right away. Don't leave it up to them, so we can come in and start to bring them in, introduce ourselves to them, and if they need some tutoring, we can set this up for them, etc., and all that. Okay, we good?
Okay, so we're waiting on the next speaker. Thank you, Professor Kornfeld, for your.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Any addition? Oh, Deb, go ahead.
Different quick question, because I know courses are only offered in a certain fall, spring. Because we're going into the spring semester, particularly, HA 102 and myology are not offered. Would it be okay for those students who do want to go part-time, be given Bio 301, HA 101, and HA 100 for those students who want to go part-time?
Yeah.
Would that be the suggested for those part-time?
I lost my screen. I would have to try to get our curriculum back. Here.
Deb, it would be BI 301, HA 101, and
they can't do
HA 100. HA
Yeah.
100, HA 101, and BI 301.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. That's correct. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because I know myology and can't do kinesiology without myology. So yeah, I just want to make sure.
Sure. I mean, that would be ideal for that student.
Thank you.
So, anytime you can feel free to reach out to me or Dr. Lazola. I'll put my mail in the chat for you. If I can find the chat.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. So just waiting on the next speaker. Is there anyone from any of the departments that have any updates that like to share? Because we do have a gap in time before the next speaker. I think I did notice anyone else. Okay. Just hold on for the next few minutes. We're just trying to get in touch with the next speaker. Thank you. ahead, Deb.
Dr. Corfa, because I don't know if everybody knows. You go into maybe more information about the massage therapy clinic?
Oh yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah. Massage therapy clinic is actually opening on October 11th. Thank you. That was on my list and I completely missed it. Massage therapy clinic is open October 11th. There's a notice that went out. You may see it in your mail. I think it went to everybody. And advisors are complimentary in our clinic. Whoa, yes. So anyway, you can, it's best if you call the number there to make an appointment. We're there Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday is my clinic. No, that's today. Thursday is my clinic. We're there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I think clinic is just daytime this term. We start around, first appointment is usually around, I think around noon. So it's basically afternoons, 12, 1:30, I think 12, 1:30 and 3 something like that. And they're hour massages with our junior and in this case junior students. And we'd love to have you come out. Please. It's best if you call to make an appointment, but you can also, if we're in Medical Arts Building, and we're in the downstairs of Medical Arts. We're actually right next to the nursing offices there, but we don't want you to enter from the back and walk through and disrupt them because they get distracted easily. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. So you would go in the Medical Arts Building, go through the main lobby, head into the downstairs well area, and then look for the signs. Yep, anybody can go unless you have, you should call first. I mean, we can handle almost everybody. Sometimes people have medical conditions where we need for their doctors to approve, to okay massage for them. In which case we would let you know that. Did I answer that question, or I don't know?
Yeah, I just wanted, because not everybody knew about the massage clinic.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But that was down on the bottom of my list, and I see it now. And I want to invite everybody to come out there. It's really, I think it's great. I mean, I think it's $35. I think it's $35 right now, 30 or 35 for the general public. But for advisors, you are complimentary because we appreciate you. Also, security complimentary and nursing complimentary.
That'll definitely come in handy after a stressful registration cycle. So thank
you.
Really.
So we have we do basic Swedish relaxation style. We also can try to help with some orthopedic type conditions. We're not doctors, we're not medical, but we can offer some relief to those issues. And we also are training them in using the shiatsu acupressure system. So we have the ability to tap into that whole way of working with not with needles, but working with acupressure points. And it's a very strong program. And when you come in for clinic, you help us. You absolutely help us, because this is how they learn. They're not going to learn just by working on each other all the time.
Right.
They also have hot stone. Last term they had hot stone.
Oh, hot stone is once a year only in the hot stone is the spring. I'm sorry. but we can use hydrocollator packs. We can give you a nice hot clay pack. Yeah, not as good as the stones, but we can do a very nice thermotherapy. Okay. Yeah, everybody loves the stones. The stones are spring only.
Anyway, so what I'd like everyone to do is we're gonna take a 10-minute break. Our next speaker is Dr. Ellerton from Health Sciences. She'll be coming on at 12:45. So everyone take a break and we'll check back in with you. Thank you. Okay, we're coming off break. Dr. Ellerton is here with us. Welcome, Dr. Ellerton.
Hi. Just getting trying to get my PowerPoint up. Is it visible?
Yes.
Great. So hang on 10 seconds. I'm not that great with Zoom. Just want to make sure all right, can you see my pointer on the PowerPoint?
Yes, I can see it. Just your volume was a little low before, but I think it's good now.
It's okay. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we're ready to start. I can begin.
Please.
Okay. So first of all, my apologies. I didn't know I should be on earlier. So please forgive me for that. But basically, as you all know, we've revamped the health science program, AS degree, which you've heard about in the last few training sessions. We have 5 different concentrations that students can select from. And essentially, there haven't really been any changes in like the Common Core or in the major requirements. I just put it up to show you what we do have and what we've had up for the last year that this has been running. So we do have within, certain things within the required core and the flexible core that we do ask students to take. So they'll have to be taking anatomy and physiology to fulfill required core 1C and flexible core 2E. They'll have to be taking psychology. And I think everybody's familiar with these various requirements, including the major requirements that everyone has to take within this major. However, moving to the general, and you can see my screen, I'm advancing it because I can't see what I'm showing. So I'm advancing it.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
Okay, great. So essentially, the major change that's happened at this point is there were a lot of issues. I know that the advisors are very familiar with issues that came up, particularly within the general health sciences concentration. It had to do with the way we had categorized, taking 6 credits from one grouping. And anyways, it was a big issue because a lot of students weren't getting credited properly. We ended up working with Doreen Herring-Fox, who, from the degree audit program. And she helped us devise this mechanism, which hopefully will be simpler to work with and won't cause as many issues. So the categories as they are now done is we simply say take one course from within this first grouping, which are the harder sciences kind of courses, and they all have equivalent credit bearing, except of course chemistry is the 4.5 credits, but essentially the same credit load. Then one from the second grouping, which are all 3 credit courses, and one from the third grouping, which is more of a social sciences category, which are all 3 credits. And after each of these are taken, one from this, one from this, one from this, we then give them the listing of all of these courses again, but now they'll take, just to fulfill the 20 credits that they need from the major electives. Let me just point out that we've added a few courses in that have been requested either because of certain colleges are asking for it or certain programs for articulation seem to want these courses. So we've added a few in. Currently, the prerequisites for some of these courses is not anatomy and physiology. They are, in fact, the general bio 201. So the course coordinators for those courses are currently in the process of also making anatomy and physiology the prerequisite and not just general bio. So if you're going to be advising students and you see that it says that it's a bio 201 prerequisite and they don't have that course, at this point, we'll just ask for a waiver, for that to happen. It's fine. but hopefully in the coming semesters, it will be on record that their anatomy and physiology course will satisfy those prerequisites. So we had these 3 groupings where they take 1 course each. It totals 10 credits, essentially. And then they'll need another 9.5 to 10 credits. 9.5 because if they took the chemistry, that's 4.5 credits. So they'll need another 9.5 to 10 credits to complete the 20 total. So basically the list that you saw previously from the different categories are now just simply reiterated. They're just said again. But now you can finish up the remainder of the credits that you need from any of these courses. And depending on, which transfer program you're interested in, it will be a very different selection of courses. Let me just note that one of the things that has been added to all, not just this concentration, but to all the concentrations, is a 1-credit CPR course. I know sometimes like students need a 1-credit course. It's nice to have an extra. It's a useful course for anybody in the health sciences. It's an important course for anybody in the health sciences, but it's also useful as a 1-credit course to help deal with that, sometimes those gaps in credits that students have. The only other changes in the other concentrations, so there really was no change in the health services beyond adding in CPR, medical imaging, and actually also for the other occupational therapy and respiratory care concentrations. We had accidentally not included Math 121, which is a prerequisite for some of the coursework that they need. So we added Math 121 into these various concentrations, and also General Chemistry 2 wasn't included. It was an oversight. We simply added those in to round out and complete those concentrations. The issue with advising, our original plan was to ask that advisement is essentially done first year with the advisors, and then for the second year students, they should be coming to faculty. But we realize that there's a lot of information that needs to be disseminated properly. And there are a lot of students, as you know, it's a very, very large program within the college. So working with Dr. Pullen and Dean Pullen and my team, by the way, Naidu Carmona is here for my team. So Naidu, just jump in if you have anything to say or to add. And we've spoken with the transfer office because they are very proficient at properly orienting students for appropriate transfers. So we are going to run informational sessions. Hopefully we'll get, as soon as we have one going, we'll let you know, but we have to work out a date, and then it'll be open to all the health science students and try to orient them on all the different choices we have. As you know, many of the students are focused only on being pre-nursing. Pre-nursing, it falls under the general health sciences concentration. But it's really important that they know that there are other things out there. Another thing that we've done is develop degree maps to help guide students and help also to guide the advisors in helping the students. Basically, the degree maps were developed for each concentration. There'll be suggested course sequences, but which particular major electives to choose needs to be thoughtful. It has to be, done with consideration of what the students' transfer interests are, because there could be a very wide and diverse variety of courses. So, for example, if you're looking at the general health sciences courses, it runs the gamut from really intense science courses all the way to business, because part of health is business. Health administration is basically a business-oriented kind of track. So, so people can be taking, there's a lot of courses offered there, but if you're planning to go into a strong science program, a strong health, science health career program, you have to not select the business courses. And if you're going towards the business end of things, that is what you want to select. So for each student, it has to be very mindful where they want to go, what their plans are. So within each of these degree maps, we've added in articulation information about what articulations we already have, what potential articulations there are, what colleges we're aware of in the area that are possible transfer sites. And on the next couple of slides, I'm just going to give you an orientation. I know it's going to be a little hard to read because, to stick it onto a little slide, there's a lot of information there. But basically, these degree pathways, this one is specifically for the general health sciences. But basically, what it's going to do is it's going to basically explain what's out there if you're a general health science major. So it talks about the partnership we already have with Molloy College. It has a link to that. It talks about other potential programs that are in the area. And it gives some explanation about, what choices there are. This will be followed. I didn't put it in, but the next things that follow in the degree pathway for each of these concentrations will be a suggested sequence of courses. And in each of those, there'll be times where they have to select their elective courses. And again, those elective courses have to be guided by what their interests are, what their transfer interests are. After the suggested course sequence, the end of each of those degree map documents has a list of the courses that are in that particular in the concentration, in that particular concentration. This is, I'm showing you most of what's from the general health sciences concentration. And then it's followed by the particular colleges. Molloy, we have articulation with. And these are all colleges. The ones that are listed here are all colleges that we are in dialogue with. We were hoping to have a few more of the articulations wrapped up, but it is a slow, like surprisingly slow process. And therefore, we don't have them finalized, but we have been in dialogue with them. So we know what things they do want from our students and what things they are required and what things are recommended. So these tables are fairly accurate in terms of what you would need to transfer into these various programs. And like even, for example, over here, where you have a choice of, the student could take the intro to chemistry, which is chemistry 127 or 151. Well, York College said specifically they want 151, not 127, while there'll be other places where they'll accept chemistry 127. So where we have that knowledge, we put it in. X means that it's required by that program. A plus means that it's something that they recommend, not required. A dash means that they don't require it or recommend. So it kind of gives you an overview of, for those students, what their options are, what's out there, and what they could be considering. We currently have these articulations. Basically, there's one in every one of the different concentrations that is already completed and signed. This week, we actually had Downstate sign off on the diagnostic medical imaging. Just Queensborough still has to sign, so and we will. So this one for diagnostic medical imaging at Downstate should be totally in effect within the next week or so. So these articulations are in place. The other thing that we feel you really focus on and keep in mind is that there's so many of the students who are in the health sciences are really on the pre-nursing track. That's where they're placed, but their plans are to apply to nursing. And it's so important for these particular students to know that there are alternative choices, because many of them, as we all know, are not going to make it into the nursing program. And traditionally, we just lose these students. We don't even know where they go. We've tried tracking what happens to these students in the past, and a lot of them just either drop out of college, or a lot of them just move into a different major or whatever. So we don't want to lose this whole cohort. And one of the things that I learned as I was working with some of these programs is that, not all of the transfer options are science heavy. Some of them don't even really care if you have anatomy and physiology or not. They're happy if you take a baby course. But meanwhile, the students in this program in the AS are required to take anatomy and physiology, and some of them are getting C- or D+, and they're not making it in to the nursing program. But some of these courses that are not, really science-heavy courses, programs, transfer programs, they don't really care. These are options for these students. They can stay within the health sciences, but they have other places that they can consider moving into. So just to back up for a second, let's say, for example, this BS in applied gerontology, if you look down to see what they require, they don't require any of these heavy sciences. They require business, and they require introduction to computers and nutrition. They don't really care if you get a D+
they would just have to, but they just have to complete they would have to complete the AS program.
Yes, exactly. Right. That would be their underlying requirement, is that you complete the AS program, and many of them will have a GPA requirement. I don't have the GPA requirement for that particular program that I just mentioned in gerontology, but if you look at Stony Brook, they say their GPA is 2.0 required. St. Francis's Public Health wants a 2.0. These heavy sciences are recommended but not required. So there are other options out there for these nursing students, but they do, like Naidu just said, need to complete the AS program. That's like a bottom line in order to do the transfer. The other possibility for these students, of course, is to move out of the health sciences and into the medical assistant program. There's an AAS medical assistant program, as you're all aware, and that would be another route. The A&P will be accepted by the MA program, and that is another place where they can go and to consider. These degree maps have not yet been posted to the website, but they will. And in the interim, I can send you the hard copies so you can look them over. This is our team. And if you have questions, you're always welcome to email us, or if you want to ask now, we're happy to answer whatever questions you might have.
They just want us to share this PowerPoint since the changes are not yet up on the catalog.
Of course. Yeah, I'm having trouble seeing notes. Chat.
I would like to ask a question, please. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Edna.
Okay, so let's just hypothetically say a student was taking the preclinical courses, and they didn't get the grade that was necessary for the anatomy and or for the math. Are you saying that it would be best if they are really a diehard person that wants to go into the nursing program to commence with the nursing program, even if they got a C- or or D or commence with health science program, and once they complete that they can transfer over to the medical assistant?
They can transfer over to the medical assistant without completing the health science program.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, look, anybody who wants to repeat the course, we have a 3-time repeat policy in the biology department. You can take it up to 3 times. And if you withdraw, that's considered one of the times. So as long as it's within the 3 times, if people want to take it again and hope to do better, it happens all the time. I've had plenty of students that bombed the first time around and came back and were wonderful students. So, sure, you want to become a nurse and you think you just screwed it up the first time, let them take it again and try again. But if they see that they're consistently getting bad grades in the hard sciences, they should think of other alternatives.
Thank you. I was under the impression that if they had gotten a D or D plus, that was an automatic no for the nursing program, and if they had gotten a D or F in the Math 119, that was also an automatic.
It's possible.
So now that you're telling me they can retake it and take it 3 times, I've been here a long time, and this is something new to me.
What happens, Edna, is that they don't complete the course, they just withdraw it, and then they register the following semester or the following
that's
year.
different. No, I have full comprehension of that. But besides the withdrawal, I'm thinking
you might be right. You know what? I don't know. It's possible that our program at Queensborough will not accept it. However, I know that there are other schools that will, other nursing
Yes, I understand
schools.
that. I mean, outside of Queensborough, mainly I refer students to go to a SUNY, contact a SUNY school. But my thing that I'm focusing on, this is the first. Okay, if a student withdraw from the A&P or the Math 119, that's okay. That's a withdrawal. You understand? Mm-hmm. That's not getting a less than a C grade. But to get less than a C grade on either one of them, unless you are to get even with the English course, but if it wasn't a good grade on the English 101, then you could try for the English 102. And the same thing for the Psych 101 and Psych 220. But for the A&P or the Math, I gotta talk to my colleagues.
Yeah, what I understand is also the QCC nursing program, they will only take 1 grade. Right?
That is correct. That's what I'm saying. Because even if they repeat it, they still gonna look at the first grade.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. All right. That's what I want to know.
When we say 3 times,
yes,
we mean that they withdraw and then start again.
No problem.
So they have
but again, students should, if they really want to go into nursing, to encourage them to do it again if they got the D and try for a different school. I mean, I didn't realize that they couldn't apply to Queensborough, but
yes.
Let them apply, if they really want to go into nursing, let them try again, get a better grade and go somewhere else.
Yes, that's what I tell my students also. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that, because otherwise I'm going to be in trouble with my supervisor. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the point is that even if getting into a nursing program in another school is not feasible, if they scored, a C or a D, if they finish the health science program, then they can still looking to transfer to another kind of health science program other than nursing. That's the whole objective of all of these concentrations.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
There is a comment or a question about degree works being updated to reflect these new concentration requirements updates. So the changes passed the department curriculum committee and it's now in the college, but we're still waiting to hear from them, correct, Sharon?
Yeah, I think it passed. Michael, are you here? Is Michael here?
Michael Pollan?
Yeah, I believe it passed at the college level, but I believe it has to go to the Senate first before it's official, and then as soon as the Senate votes on it, then it can be posted.
Yeah, then it can be updated in the catalog as well.
Any other questions for Dr. Alatain?
Who can I send this PowerPoint to?
You can send it to me, and you know, since we've been in contact, and then I can share it with the whole listserv. So, okay, well, as always, very helpful information, especially with these changes. I mean, this is one of our major degree programs, so I appreciate your time, both of you. So I think this will conclude our training. And you know, I just want to thank everyone for taking the time, and I think that break was nice. So it breaks it up a little bit. So I just want to thank everyone and all the faculty. And that concludes. And our next session will be on October 4th for student services, and then October 11th for another round of academic program training.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you all, and have a great day.
Thank you, Sharon, for the information.